Right, so welcome to episode 3 of the Nice to Meet You podcast. Today is just the lads. We've got no guests this week. We've got a couple of guests lined up, which is going to be unreal. We're not going to tell you too much about that just yet, but it's just the lads today. So we're going to talk about kind of this setup. It's the second time we're in here, which is kind of cool. We had Jelvis on last week. Yeah. How do you think that kind of went? It was kind of surprising meeting him, and
yeah, it was cool. He was actually a really interesting guy. I'd never actually heard too much about him beforehand, but actually meeting him in person, it was good. Just to kind of get to know him before we actually started recording. Cool dude, like really chill.
He's some boy, like. Yeah. Oh, he is good. But I think the whole purpose of this podcast today is definitely going to be to get to know us a bit more.
For sure.
Why we started this podcast, what we want to get from it, what value do we want to give out. I think that's a really good place to go and set us up for the guests coming up, because we do have some mad guests. Like, we got Tom Smith coming on as well. Went to his event. Yeah. What do you think of his event, actually?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, I feel like it was actually really interesting just to see someone that has kind of had a lot of experience and just see where they're at. And yeah, it was really interesting just to kind of just even get the opportunity just to ask some questions. I think it was cool that like he wasn't just coming in, saying his piece and leaving. Like, it was good to actually just be real with him and just chat. You know, so.
I think he actually was really gentleman-like too. Like, he welcomed everybody coming in, shook everybody's hand. He had the time of day for everybody. Obviously, the most important part for us, we got him on the pod. Yeah. Episode 27, but I think we're going to get him on earlier. We have to get him on earlier because the hype is there.
Definitely.
And I think if we leave it too long, it could fade out. So we want to get him on.
But it definitely was a really good event. Like,
but it was good.
Yeah, because it was pretty cool. Because like, you know, sometimes you have different successful motivational speakers and stuff, and they kind of as if like, pardon my French, but as if their shit doesn't stink. Like, but he did open up a bit about different things of his story, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. You know, like to be like partially vulnerable. But at the same time,
and the networking as well was good.
The networking opportunity was absolutely fantastic. Like, we met some really cool people, made some really good connections. So
yeah, we did.
It was definitely a Wednesday night that isn't regretted, to say the least. Like,
it was a different Wednesday night, for us. But yeah, so we'll kind of start. Whoever's on the hot seat basically is going to get interviewed, because we want to get to know everybody here. Yeah, so I'm in the hot seat. I'm going to get interviewed first. I'll kind of answer my own question to begin with, and then you just can ask away. But the reason for starting a podcast, I guess, nice to meet you. I have a belief that basically anytime you meet somebody or connect with someone, either you've known them or you don't, like the best feeling in the world to me is when you walk away going, wow, that was so nice to meet you. And like you feel that energy from that person, and you can't stop talking about them. Like, you tell everybody about that time you met that person. And for me, that is like a fundamental belief in my life. Like, I want people to walk away from me, from you guys, from this podcast, watching online. Like, while you're scrolling on TikTok, you're going, wow, that was so nice to even just have that interaction, that connection with that person. Yeah, so that's kind of the heart behind the name and the reason why I started. Yeah. And obviously you've seen probably my own TikToks asking the public random questions. Some of them rash, some of them not too rash. That kind of just started randomly one day, like as in Port Rush. You actually filmed it for me. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to ask questions. I bought these microphones. To be honest, I couldn't really afford them at the time. I put them on a credit card. And I thought, I'm just going to start making content and have a bit of fun and see where it goes. But mostly the heart was meet people, get friends, get connections, see what happens. Yeah. So started recording with Jamie on the port on the Sunday. And not many people know this, but I actually tried to do it on the Saturday in Belfast, and I got nobody. Really? I think I talked to...
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I don't think you did, mate. I think I talked to 4 or 5 different people, and they all said no.
Really? Like, you actually just get like
they all just said no.
Zero response?
Yeah, like no response, no interaction. And it was me and Whitney ones up, and I went home and I was like, flip, this isn't going to work. Like,
do you think that... do you think there's a bit more of an open culture, like maybe around Port Rush and stuff?
I don't know
that allowed that, or do you think that?
I think maybe it was my first time. Maybe I was more nervous than I was letting on. Yeah. But I don't know what it was, mate. It was a busy it was a Saturday morning, afternoon, and I think maybe it was just the wrong time and wrong place. Yeah. But no, I did start in Belfast, didn't get anything, and then I thought, right, I'm going to give it another go in the port. Yeah. And we got I think we got 2 or 3 people. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, that'll be good. I posted it, it went well, and I thought, right, no, I need to keep doing this. And
well, that's it, like make hay while the sun shines.
So,
you know?
I started that. That's what 6 months ago now.
Yeah.
And it's just went mad since. Like, it's blew up.
Yeah.
Doing content for Northern Ireland now, doing content for a few brands, and it's something that I could see myself doing for the rest of my life, and then starting this as well alongside of that. So I'm getting busy, getting really busy, but the podcast was something I really wanted from the start. It was something I was actually going to start with originally and then do my own wee side stuff, but I kind of flipped it and did it the other way around, and I feel like it's probably benefited from that. So
yeah, that's really interesting. I think, like, for me, I'm a massive fan of podcasts. We were kind of chatting a little bit about this before, but for you, why a podcast? Because obviously everything else is going so well. It's picked up quite quickly. The traction has been there. But whenever it comes to podcasts, like, what is, because obviously we know the Nice to Meet You kind of that heart behind that, but what is creating this kind of space? What's so beneficial about it for you?
I think everything's conversational for me, like from what you wear to where you shop to the labels you wear on your hat, your jumper. Like, you're communicating something to somebody. Sure. Totally, so you're always communicating, and I feel like podcast is probably the best place at the minute to communicate and build a community. And that's the real reason why I wanted it, and really get to know people. Really, like, we have guests on, we're going to have loads of episodes with just the boys as well. And I feel like just to round our personality online, and to put it out there so people get to know us, why we're doing what we're doing, and what we want to communicate. And hopefully people feel a part of that and want to be part of the community. Yeah,
because I think, like, it really helps people see and understand who you actually are outside of your videos, because obviously a lot of your content is like quick fire questions in the public, but they actually get to see, okay, what's this guy actually like can he hold a conversation? So I think it's a great platform for that.
100%.
I think it's amazing that we can keep it chill too. So yeah, how have you, obviously starting out, I remember like kind of being in the port and we recording your first video.
What makes a good kisser?
Yeah, no, I was like, I remember recording it and be like, wow, okay, this is the question. I just seen people's reactions, and even then, like you said in Belfast, you kind of got like rejected, but even then, like, there was rejections. Not really, it is what it is, like people just saying no. But we did actually get a couple of interviews, which was really interesting. But for you kind of starting out, did you expect it to kind of take off as quick as this, or
no chance, mate?
No, okay,
no chance. Like, I just did it for a laugh and like just to do something.
Okay.
And I have to give credit where credit's due. You see Gary V, like, honestly, man, that man changed the way I view life. And like, it's weird because he's a celebrity and like, it's really easy, but he puts his best stuff out there for free. And just nobody executes on it.
So good.
And I listened to him, and one of the things he said that kind of stuck with me was like, if you do an interview show, it will succeed. And it was, nobody just listens. Like, I say it all the time, but nobody executes it. And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to try it. And I tried it, and it's worked. And I can't actually believe how well it's done. So I didn't really expect it, but I knew there was something there in me that was passionate about it, and there was a real genuine heart behind it. Why I was doing the interviews, it wasn't just let's do interviews and fuck about. It was genuinely more than just creating content. It was actually kind of documenting how I am, because that's how I am anyway. I was doing this for years when I worked in Starbucks. Like, if you came in the Starbucks with me in Ballymena when I worked there, you know what I'm like. I ask you the most random shit. So I feel like it's an ongoing documentation of what I'm kind of like.
Yeah, true.
So that's kind of So I felt there was a lot of I don't know, substance there already, and it just was a carryover, and that's why it's worked.
Yeah, it's very good. Like, and you feel like kind of moving forward. Then, obviously, like this is going to be a great platform to kind of elevate everything you're currently doing outside, whether it's Northern Ireland or just your interviews. But kind of moving forward, whenever it comes to like selecting guests and stuff, have you an approach to that, or is it just kind of going out and seeing who you can kind of come across, or how do you approach that?
For the guest, I kind of just slide in the DM.
Yeah.
And I stay true to the name. Nice to meet you. Like, of all the guests we've done and the ones coming up, I've never met them. Like, on set while we're recording is live. Like, it's literally me getting to know them. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. This isn't just making content. This is documenting. Yeah. Because we are generally getting to know the person live on set. Yeah, exactly. This isn't pre-recorded. There's no script. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like whatever goes. So that's kind of approach I've taken, because I feel like that's a more genuine place to be. Totally. And then with the podcast in general, we've got big plans for it. Yeah. You know, the Barber Collective, shout out to them for giving us the set. They approached me when I was getting my hair cut they knew that I kind of wanted to do something. I was trying to go with the walk. If you've watched episode 1 with Sam, I tried to go with the walk approach.
Yeah, totally.
And it didn't really quite work because the gimbal wasn't great. You know, the weather's not going to be really inconsistent coming into the winter.
That's true.
And it just wasn't going to be something I could sustain, really.
Yeah, for sure.
So this has naturally came into my path. We've taken it.
Yeah.
We went with it. I brought you guys on board.
Yeah.
Plenty of other mates are going to be on this as well whenever we have our other lad episodes. So it is a platform to make content, document what we're doing, and then obviously for you boys as well coming on, like to get into what you want to do, which we're going to get into.
Yeah, for sure. So then I think like we are blessed to have such an amazing space. Like the guys that actually own here, they're chill, really nice, really interesting, and so yeah, it's a big shout out to them for it.
Great lads.
And for you then, kind of obviously it's been amazing the past 4 months has it been since you kind of started your first video?
I think it's coming up to 5 now. Five, 6 maybe.
Amazing. And like obviously that's something you want to keep going. You want to keep seeing how you can like bring it up one level and stuff. So for you, like looking forward for like just let's go the next 6 months, what does that look like for you? How does that how like whenever you kind of picture it, is it as successful as the past 5 months? Is it more, or is it just kind of maintaining where you're at?
Yeah, I think just staying consistent with what I'm doing. I'm still going to do my own public interviews, so if you're out and about and you see me, I'm probably going to ask you a question.
Run.
Run away. And I'm going to be doing this as well. Plus, the Northern Ireland thing's really kicking off, so we'll see where that takes me. We'll see what happens there. And then other brands doing videos for them. So I kind of just expect just to be consistent and to enjoy it. And with the guests we have coming up, like I'm just genuinely excited for next week's episodes and then the week after. Like there's something always to look forward to.
That would be cool. And fill us in a wee bit more about Northern Ireland as well. Like obviously we see like them posting you doing your thing, like asking people questions. Like what's your kind of thoughts on that? Like
I was blown away. They text me and said that they love what I do and could you come on and do a few videos for us? I said yeah, and it's went really well. I'm doing a tour of NI at the minute where I'm going around different towns and cities in the country asking fans and the general public what they think of Northern Ireland games in general and the next game on the Saturday especially. And I made the interaction with fans and public's been unreal. Like they're so welcoming to it. They love it. I've been giving out tickets, free merch.
Amazing.
And they love it. Like it's so good.
Yeah, because it's definitely diverse. Like you have your rash questions, and then you have like kind of that side of things. So it's very good because it's like for people out there that are like massive football fans, it's good to kind of get that perspective on just day to day people, like their kind of experience of Northern Ireland and stuff. So
something I never applied for it, and again it kind of came my way. So that's my like encouragement to you guys and to anybody watching. Really, is like just put content out there. Like do what you love. And the right thing will come to you. And that's what's happened to me. And it's fell right into my path. It's something I love. I love football, big football fan my whole life, as you know. And so everything's just kind of lined up.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I would say to people. Just make content, document what you're doing, do what you love, and see where it can go. It will work, especially with the organic reach out there on the social media platforms with TikTok, LinkedIn. You got YouTube Shorts, Facebook fan pages.
So many different platforms.
Like, get it out there. Just once you make that step, and after fear, that kind of fear goes away, and then you just keep rolling with it, and then just be consistent, and you just never know. 6 months from now, you could be doing something crazy you never thought in a million years you could do.
I know for myself. Like I was in London at the time, and I was like, this man just started the TikTok, and I was like, 4 or 5 months later, here now, man's like on there for Northern Ireland and whatnot. Like it's
crazy, like
it really
isn't
it? It is mad. It really is crazy. But sort of kind of, there's something actually just like a question Jimmy asked earlier, like, well, 2 things actually I just want to kind of touch on again is like, one is like, you know, people do see that, you know, the initial Stefan of, you know, just asking rash questions, and then to get to see maybe a bit of a different side to Stefan that's like, you know, on the Northern Ireland football team, more professional, that kind of thing. But like, what does the real Stefan look like? Like, would you say like that you being asked the rash questions, that is Stefan, or is Stefan the guy that's doing the professional interviews, or is it hybrid of both, or like?
I can answer that. Yes.
Yes, it's a yes.
You know, like what, in your own words, what kind of like, not what defines Stefan, but what does Stefan look like in normal? Obviously, we know because we know you personally.
Yeah. Generally, what you see on TikTok is what I'm like, and like I think you know that. Like, I approaching people and asking any question
Absolutely.
is literally is no issue to me.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own thing where you get scared. Like some people find it terrifying to approach people, where I don't. And I can ask anything to a stranger and it would not faze me. But some people can't.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I might struggle with something else. I might struggle on the date and get nervous, where some people find that date's really nice.
Yeah.
So I think everybody has that thing
Something
they
else.
struggle with. Whereas me, Stefan, I feel like I'm approachable, and I feel like I can go up and approach people, and it's no problem at all.
Just like reciprocating that kind of like vibe.
Yeah,
like,
so-
kind of the energy, just like if that's what you're like, then other people respond
Yeah.
back to that. Like,
Yeah, so no, I always just feel like worst case scenario, you approach someone, they say no to the
Yeah.
interview,
for sure.
and even if I'm not doing interviews, I'm just approaching people in a night out to make friends or whatever, network.
Yeah.
Like worst case scenario, you make a friend. Like
Yeah.
that's how I see it. And if that is the worst case scenario, then I am laughing like I should be doing this everywhere. So I have no problem
At the end of the day, like,
talking
if
to
you make
strangers
somebody
and
else
getting along.
laugh or whatever, it's like, well,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing, like, what's the worst?
Like
that
you
can
do get
happen?
the odd, as I said, that first time I ever did it, like I got rejection, and there is a bit
Yeah.
of that to it. You kind of have to appreciate not everybody's gonna be like feel comfortable, like with a phone in their face, a microphone in their face, especially whenever they didn't plan it.
Yeah,
Like they've went about their day to day going, oh, I'm gonna go shopping today in Belfast, and then a random guy comes up to you and asks you
Just
for
randomly stops you, like,
someone stops you and goes, what makes a good kisser, and you're going, what the fuck. So sometimes it doesn't work, but nah, for the most part, most people are
seems
so
pretty
nice.
good. Well, on that side of things, obviously, like, you know, you've talked about the rejection, you've talked about, you know, obviously the success, so to speak, you know, kind of that you've had, like doing the TikToks and stuff, like, you know, but as I asked Jelvis, like even last week, can I ask you the same sort of question, like, you know, obviously, like, we're good friends, like, we all know each other really well, but like sometimes as lads, like, we all kind of keep some things to ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
So like, could you give maybe not give an example, but has there ever been a time where you've got like hate or a hater or like a counselor or whatever, this whole cancel culture thing at the minute, like, have you had an experience where, you know, that's kind of like come up through like a TikTok comment, through, I don't know, Instagram or something, and like how did you take it? How did you respond? Like, you know, what did that look
Yeah,
like?
no, I actually haven't had a lot, to be fair. In the 5-6
good,
months
man.
I've been doing it, like the comments have been really kind.
great.
People laugh, like, it's because it is a laugh. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it comes across well. So there isn't really much of that. Like, you have the odd one or two,
Yeah.
and you kind of just, you know, respond nicely to it. Most of the time, my tactic for if I do have a serious troller,
Yeah.
I go into their account, look at something they do, and literally praise the shit out of it. Then I reply to his comment going, mate,
love
I
that,
seen
man.
that car video you put up 2 weeks ago. That was flipping class. Like, make sure you get another one up. And just really encourage them in something they do, because the chances are if they're putting something under your account that isn't nice, they probably don't feel too good about themselves.
Yeah,
And I feel so sorry. Like, I have empathy for them.
Yeah.
And
It
then
just doesn't even come from a place of cockiness either.
No.
It literally is just coming from a place of,
I hope you do well. I hope you do
emotional
better.
Intelligence of being like, I know that you maybe like, because one thing I actually sort of like off the podcast, like what we've talked about in the past, it's like sometimes like, what if somebody's just had 1 hour less sleep that night? What
Exactly.
if somebody just had,
They're dehydrated.
just didn't get their
Need a
coffee
drink,
that
yeah.
day? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people
Not
just
that deep, like.
sometimes it's just people just have a spur of like, you know, like,
It's a bad day,
yeah, having a bad day, you cast the hate, but like you still flip that and just be like, you know, I've seen what you're doing, you're being positive about it, rather than going down the route of like giving hate back, spitting out venom. And it's like, no, it's like, I really love what you've done there, encouraging, like you're really changing the kind of dynamic of what a lot of people would kind of do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
No, that's how I roll with it. Like,
I think as well, like, obviously being in this now like industry of social media influencers, comparison's a massive thing, as it is with everything. I feel like obviously there's people like ahead in the game, but there's also people starting out. So for you, like, whenever it comes to comparison, how do you deal with that? Is that an issue? Where are you at with it?
yeah, comparison is definitely like, what is it? FIFA joy, I think is the word. And that is one thing you do need to be careful of, especially when you go into someone's account and their followers are better, their engagement's better. You know, they get paid more, they look better, whatever it may be. And I definitely try to stay away with it. I just try to stay in my own lane. and look at my own thing, make sure that my next video is better than my last one. That I'm content with myself, that my family's healthy, friends are healthy, doing well, and most importantly that I actually enjoy what I'm doing. That I think if once I'm doing that and keep myself focused on that, I have no time to really look at someone else. If I do look at someone else and they're doing well, then I tell them and I encourage them, and hopefully learn from that too.
Totally. I think like from me, I've noticed that quite recently is one of the best thing you can do to kind of like help and deal with comparison is just celebrate. Like I think if you actually bring yourself out of your own way, and so whoever it may be that you are comparing yourself to, just celebrate what they're doing. Just like encourage it, and it not only you're not doing it just to solely help yourself, but I feel like a byproduct of actually celebrating. You actually,
because then you do feel better as well.
You feel better, and they feel better, and it's just a win-win kind of thing. So
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing. It's good and it's amazing to see that like you have that open mind, that you're not just being like kind of it's all just about yourself. Like you're actually celebrating other people. I feel like that'll take you a lot further than you realize. You know.
Yeah, man. Let's hope so.
It's exciting.
Let's hope so.
Stefan, are you ready?
I'm ready, mate. Let's go.
This man got a wee text earlier to say, just be prepared. So pretty much what we've done is kind of like we're doing this thing where like every guest we always have like
so quick fire questions for every guest.
Boom, boom, boom.
Just answer it. Boom.
So, but the difference is this man's gonna get some questions on the spot.
Let's go, mate.
On the
Hit
spot.
me with it.
Number one, best present you've ever received.
Best present. Oh, I'm gonna say
Quick fire.
Arsenal top. Yeah, top of my head,
Arsenal
Arsenal top. Aye.
Favorite drink?
Drink alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Yeah,
alcohol.
Yeah.
Quad vod.
Both.
Quad vodka
Anyway,
Coke.
Favorite sex position?
Cowgirl. Hey girl.
Knew that was coming. Favorite nail color on a girl?
White.
Why white?
Mate, the white toenails like is a real thing.
Gets
if you
it.
don't know, get the fucking know. Like
Right, breast or bunda?
Bunda.
Bunda all day.
Bunda easy, man.
Kevin?
Yeah. Bunda.
Class. Right, well that's it for the fire questions, boy.
Yes, mate. Thank you.
So
Hot seat time for someone else. Jamie's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Jamie is somebody who he's my best mate to begin with. So best mate since primary school, or no, before
Nursery,
primary.
yeah,
Nursery.
like-
We went to same nursery,
yeah, like-
same primary school,
Yeah.
same high school. Different takes, but we've stayed best mates throughout pretty much our whole life. We grew up in church together as well.
Yeah, everything.
So we've kind of been involved in everybody's life, and you're someone I brought on the pod. You're going to be probably more so on the lads episodes.
For sure.
But you're definitely my behind the scenes, all the social media camera angles, quick videos. You know, you're the kind of man for that. You do a lot of social media stuff. So that's where you'll see Jamie really shine mostly. But I'm glad you're on today, so that we can get to know you a bit better, and people watching can see the man behind the camera, really.
Yeah, for sure.
So I obviously asked you to come on and be a part of it, and what way did you kind of take that, and were you kind of excited for was this something that you feel like was a natural step forward for you, or
Yeah, like
was there a reason that you wanted to come on in particular?
Yeah, no, I feel like just the mad paycheck that I'm getting into this is more for like, no, I just feel for me, like, obviously, I have such a passion for behind the camera. You'd obviously asked me to come on, like, as a full-time kind of host, but I kind of was just chatting and saying, like, look, I would love to kind of focus more of my energy into, like, camera angles, kind of understanding cameras and different things. So yeah, that's kind of the decision I've made, and I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to do so. And it's great just to kind of even for the Jelvis one, just being in the back scene, just recording like off my wee gimbal and stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting. I love that. I love social media, as in not even like social media, but I love just creating content. I love editing. And like I'm a baby in the industry whenever it comes to it. I've only like I have a cracked iPhone.
It's quite recent for you, isn't it?
Yeah, so recent. Like for me, I done it for like kind of the fitness industry for a while. Was recording stuff and just kind of messing about with it, and that's kind of where I first realized, this is actually really fun. This is actually something I really enjoy. So much so actually that I moved purposely from kind of like PTing into social media and editing stuff, kind of switched up my focus because I did enjoy it that much. So yeah, now I'm doing it for my current job, which is in a coffee shop. So I do like the social media there, along with one of my great friends, Chris. So just being able to work alongside someone that has great experience in it is really a good opportunity. I mean, yeah, I'm just, to be honest, I'm winging it. Like, I'm just actually learning.
Everybody is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no real, like, structure to it. I just kind of pick up wee, like, top tips here and there and then just apply it. And it's actually really fun to actually see something and kind of try it out, adapt it, and then see it actually work. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't, but... Yeah,
so you said you started PTing, and obviously I know that you quit the PT thing, and you were literally only starting, really.
Yeah.
And... Why did you quit PTing? Because I'm sure there'll be PTs watching, and it's obviously a hard industry to be in.
For sure.
But what made you quit and change to going to a guy behind the camera more so?
Yeah, so I feel kind of, for me, I don't believe that, obviously, whenever I made that decision to transition, I was so aware of not wanting to quit, because like that's not who I am. I just don't quit something. But I had to, for me, prioritize what I love and what I enjoy. And I did really enjoy being in the fitness industry for quite some time, like a year, just over a year and a half. And I really did enjoy it. But whenever I kind of stepped out into actually PTing myself, I had fun, kind of that aspect of meeting people, that aspect of actually getting clients, and that whole engagement was really exciting. But for me, it became more focused in actually the coaching, which obviously it should be, and naturally it gave me less time to put into editing, less time to creating content, which is okay as a PT. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I felt I was missing that. It was like, all I want to do is sit in front of my laptop and edit. All I want to do is create reels, create videos. So understanding that was where my desires lay. I was like, right, okay. I'm gonna, and I grinded out for like a month and a half, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay with where I'm at. But I had no joy. My own training like went out the window. I wasn't eating correctly, and I just started seeing things go downhill. So I made that decision just to transition to working in the coffee shop full time, which I love.
Happy days, man.
Because it kind of has that still that interaction with people, as you know, like Starbucks and stuff. Sure. Like it is, like it's honestly the best feeling in the world, just getting to meet new people and chat. And so now being able to have that opportunity to move into that has it's changed my life, just the quality of my life more than anything. Like I'm eating correctly now, I'm training like 5-6 days a week, and I have time to edit, I have time to do that.
You've time to do really what you love.
Yeah, exactly.
What you enjoy.
Yeah, and that's
like,
it.
That's the thing, like, you know, it's like, so I'll be honest, mate, like even off like I haven't really spoke to you about this at all personally, so this is like fresh on the can. But like I'm being honest as well. I'm super encouraged the fact that, like, you know, you really took a really good, you really did grab the bull by the horn, so to speak, and you, like, that's one thing I do know about you. Anything that you do, you give it 110%, like every single time.
For sure.
And that was evident, and like it's evident in everything you put your hand to, and like it's really encouraging just to see that, do you know what, this is not working out for me. This is not what I want, and I'm being okay with that, and actually being like, do you know what, like, I've spent X amount of whatever you spent on PT and courses and and you studied and the hard work, but still, it's like, nah, but I know what I really want. Yeah. And being okay with that. Yeah. Okay with that transition.
Because I feel a lot of people are in that place where they don't make a decision that they know they should because of what they've currently invested. But for me, because I had invested an insane amount of time into like creating content and stuff.
Once that investment's done.
Yeah,
it's no longer an
it's no longer, it's there, it's like, it's past tense. So for me, I had to like just like take it on the chin and be like, right, well, it's, if anything, it's just built my character, and it's just like, it's an enable me, like, because it took guts to actually step away from the fitness industry as a coach, because like, you know what it's like you're thinking, oh, what are people going to think? But you just had to, I'd rather bring myself to a place where I was like, no, I'm just going to go with what I enjoy, with what I love. And it's not that I'm going with what's easy, but it's going towards what actually brings me happiness.
That's so true though. Like, there's a friend that once said to me, like, you know, your gifts will make room for you. And at the end of the day, like, again, this is not maybe more of a question, but it's just like statement of observation. Yeah. Like you say, we all kind of like met each other through church and stuff. And I know years ago you used to do like lots of like kind of choreography and dancing and stuff. And like you always had that creative eye, and like I remember like before I went to Dubai, like you were the one being like, get on this Visco cam and get on this is the C4 filter, this is the one and whatnot. And like I'll be honest, ever since like even then, mate, and even before, I've always seen that like creative spark. That's something I think that you have very like your gifts make room. It's something you have organically, naturally.
Yeah.
And like I'll be quite honest, mate, like the content that you produce with such simple equipment is like
appreciate
absolutely top tier.
Thank you.
So like, mate, honestly, just be encouraged by that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I remember doing that. I was like, kind of showing you through the wee apps and stuff, and you were hyped about it. But like I feel like that's something that I learned quite quickly was you don't need, like starting out, you don't need mad equipment. Like I feel like if you can actually understand how to use an iPhone first is like going to take you further, because like for me, I literally use my iPhone on a gimbal and then just kind of work with that. So I feel like starting out was something for me, it was a pressure. Like I need the best equipment, I need a crazy expensive camera, and I will get there, and I will eventually have that. But it's been amazing just to actually use what's in my hand at the minute, you know.
Do you think going forward, like if you were to give a bit of advice for somebody that's maybe starting out with like, because to be honest, it seems like at the minute you're actually gaining quite a lot like of traction at the minute. Like things are starting to really like kind of build up more for you. Like if somebody was just starting out, like just being like, you know, like Jamie, I see your stuff, it's unreal. Like you're using a pure like DSLR, like using an amazing camera. Like what kind of advice would you give to someone like?
Yeah, well, that's me. Like I'm still only starting out. Like I haven't like for me, I'm in that place where like I'm just creating content for the coffee shop I'm working in, and then obviously the coaching stuff. But I would just say keep it simple. Like just learn as much as you can. Like and take your time. Like don't. For me at the minute, I obviously want to get places with it. I want to like take up a level, but I'm just enjoying it. Like I'm just enjoying
the process.
Yeah, just enjoying the process of just actually learning. Like for me, I just spend time at home in evenings, like just watching videos on how to use certain cameras and how to use like your lighting setups and stuff, and it's really interesting. So I feel like the worst thing you can do is put pressure on yourself, especially time pressure, because it'll just kind of like force you into a certain like way of shooting or into a certain way of creating where it just needs to flow, like it just needs to be natural. So I would definitely say like if you have, like for me, I have the coffee shop, which is great to actually like invest into, or if you don't have that, like if you don't have somewhere to actually create for, to just create for yourself, like if it is interviewing, if that's your kind of vibe, or if it's just going out and like street photography, just start, like literally just start, grab your phone. If you have a camera, learn how to use it and just start shooting. You don't even need to publish it, like just shoot and edit. And just spend time on it. Like for me, I done it with Canva. Like if you know what Canva is, it's like a really good platform for like editing carousels or pictures and stuff. And no way is it like you're not a graphic designer, but like it is, if anything, the closest thing to getting a taste of what that's like. And for me, it was and it's free as well. So there is a paid version, but like I started off with just the free version, and it's great. Like I learned so many just YouTube tutorials. So there is so much things that you can achieve and learn without having to invest a lot of money or even time into to start with. I
think you've hit the nail on the head, mate. Like, just start. Like, Canva's free, CapCut's free.
All of
your camera on your iPhone is just as good as most cameras out there.
That's it.
Make content that you love. CapCut it, edit it.
That's it.
It's all free.
Keep it simple.
And just put it out there and see what the demographic is.
Yeah, exactly.
I think TikTok will tell you if this is good content because it's based off interest and likes.
So true.
Where instead of the following, you can start a TikTok channel right now on 0 followers and get 1 million views.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like
it is. It really is.
Do you know what I mean? So I think people need to do that and be encouraged to do that.
Yeah.
If that's something you want to do, like something similar down the line you're doing,
totally.
or even what I'm doing, or what we're going to learn about you're doing, like just put it out there.
Yeah, just do
and
it.
You've got everything on your phone to do it.
Yeah, everything there, like it's so accessible. So why not? Like if it's what you love, and it comes back to like the PTing thing. Like I didn't love it fully. Like I feel like I like the idea more than what actually the reality was like. So if you love it, if you enjoy photography, videography, and even the editing side, like it's there, it's accessible. Like, if you don't have a phone, use your mum's phone, use your dad's phone, grab somebody's phone and just start shooting.
Just go
like,
for it.
Yeah, just go. Like,
Yeah,
just
man.
try. Yeah, literally.
Mate, we'll finish up with some quick fire questions for you.
Yes, for sure. Hit me up.
First question, because I've known you my whole life, so I've seen the amount of hairstyles you've had. What's your favourite hairstyle you've ever had, mate?
I'd say my current one.
The curly perm?
Yeah, curly perm. So, like, I may not know, I have, like, poker straight hair. So, got it permed.
Because you've had long hair as well. You've had a man bun. You've had it all, man.
Yeah, I had it all. Like, I had my hair down to here, just hanging, and then I had it up in, like, a top knot. I've had everything.
But the perm's your favourite?
Yeah, that's my favourite.
No, that's nice.
It's
That's
the most
nice.
manly one.
What is your favourite holiday destination?
Holiday destination, Greece. Backpacked by myself.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
Mate, this
it
man
was
went
good.
to Greece by himself,
Yeah.
which I applaud, but slept it rough.
Yeah, I slept there off. So I went. This is supposed to be a quick fire, but sure, we'll just go with it. So it's like backpacked on like a 9-hour boat journey from Athens to Santorini. Slept on a bench of like a restaurant, and this is no lie. Like, there was 3 dogs, like massive dogs, slept beside me. Fully looked like I had it was crazy.
You're like a homeless man, basically.
Yeah, literally. And then like I woke up the next day, the guy from the restaurant came out to me and was like, "Hey, what's happening?" And chatting away and chill.
I remember that, man.
Spent like 12 hours in Santorini just like sightseeing, and then jumped on the boat home. I had nowhere to stay, nothing, and just winged it, to be honest.
That's flipping class.
So yeah, it was mad. But I would recommend getting a hotel, doing it correctly, you know.
If you're going to Greece, do it right.
Yeah, do it right. Like,
What's your favourite Disney movie?
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille?
By far, yeah. I just love like that chef vibe. Like, I've worked in kitchens before,
it's kinda your thing, innit?
not as a chef, but just kind of like had exposure in it. And yeah, I love the vibe, love the whole like.
It is a good movie.
In Paris and
But
stuff.
for me, Lion King, like, for sure.
Yeah.
They're actually bringing out a new Lion King movie. I don't know if you've seen that.
Are they?
It's called Mufasa. It's out in
wow.
2024, but it's a prequel. So it's like how Mufasa became king. So he apparently came from real humble beginnings. So I am buzzing.
Like
mate.
different perspectives.
I am
and stuff.
buzzing for
That's
that,
cool.
honestly.
My goodness.
I'll be 27, mate, going to the cinema with all the kids, like pure buzzing.
Loving your life.
Aye.
That is a thing though. Like people do say like Disney is just for kids, but like been to Disneyland.
Oh, no.
in the
No,
early
it's
20s
not
and,
true.
like,
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, of course.
No, best. Last question for you. Dream guest to have on this pod. Put it out there, mate.
Dream guest is a good one. My goodness. I'd say. Yeah, like dream guest. That's hard.
It can be celebrity, can be anonymous, so nobody really knows them. Someone that you would love on this, and you obviously we get to know every guest. We have dinner with them, we take them out.
For sure.
Who would you actually genuinely like to come in and actually ask questions to, and then get to know them?
I'd actually like.
It could be anybody, local, celebrity.
I would actually like Furtick. Stephen Furtick.
Stephen
Sole
Furtick,
reason is, and I actually don't watch a lot of Furtick. The sole reason is because I don't feel like I haven't actually ever seen him, and maybe he has, but I've never seen him on a conversational setting. I see him like on a. It's not that it's polished, because in the way like he flows in it, but like I've always seen him on stage doing his thing. I'd love to actually just see like. Down
Raw
the earth,
on a barber seat.
Yeah,
what's he saying?
Like, just chill. I think it would be great because I feel like he has a lot of things to say, so it'd be good just to actually just chat normal life with him for sure.
Perfect.
And Justin Bieber too, but we'll not go there.
We'll get in there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Rowan, on the hot seat. My guy.
Yeah, boy.
I see you got a Tory Lane's jumper on there.
Absolute fanboy.
Aye, I know you are.
Literally, like, I would never was somebody that was like, you know, oh my gosh, they're like my favorite artist, like, you know, or they're my favorite singer, but like,
Love him.
shooting the vitals, like, but I idolize this man, love him.
That's class, mate.
Oh,
No,
flippin'
well,
unreal.
obviously, nice to meet you podcast. We're kind of the main guys on it. We're going to have other friends on it, but brought you two on especially. We touched on Jamie, but now it's time for you. I know why you want to be on it, but no one else does. So work away, mate. Why did you kind of want to come on this and start kind of creating content?
Yeah, well, to be quite honest, like us three, we've had a really close friendship, you know, for, 4 or 5 years, maybe more. And we've always kind of had that heart of being like authentic and delivering, you know, not even delivering, but just being real, being authentic people, and then like it is quite contagious, you know. But for me, the reason why I want to not want to just be on the podcast, but I was honoured. Like, Stefan, you actually just like asked me, like, mate, like, I have this podcast coming up. Do you want to be on it? And I was like, give me the mic, give me the mic, give me the mic. I was like, yes, straight up, of course I want to be on it. But the reason why I would like love being on it, not just want to be on it, is because, like, you know, it is that very thing of like, nice to meet you. It's that thing of that. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always the kind of like, you know me, you know my story, which we'll get into over time. But like, I was not always the person that was like, to be quite honest, I was initially quite introverted, I would probably say, but throughout time and, you know, show me your friends, show me your future. Yeah, for sure. You know, these guys, like, have definitely brought me out and into that space of, you know what, I actually just want to be like in a place where it's like I'm meeting other people. And it's not just to meet people that are maybe of high stature or whatever, but anybody, like just anybody. Like one thing, I actually shared this with you, Stefan, I think quite recently, that before I moved to London there back in, I think, March, I just in Tesco doing my weekly shop, and I just was like, you know, I really couldn't be bothered, but I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to make sure I ask this person, like, you know, hey, how's your day? Like, how are you doing? Da da da. And somebody only recently, now that I'm back home and like doing my grocery shop and just my typical £30, boom, done. And they're like, I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean you haven't seen me in a while? And they're like, oh, like just, you're always like really friendly whenever you come in, and you're like, you know, you always ask how my day was, and it's just simple things like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just then, I think, again, it's not about meeting people just necessarily of high stature or anything like that. It's just, I just love meeting people. I love talking.
Yeah. So it makes sense to be on a podcast where you're meeting people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes total sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is great, man.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what's funny? Like, we've obviously went to church together, and we did a boxing match as well.
Yeah, we did.
No one really knows this. Like, I don't talk about it because I took an L, but you're kind of that guy. Like, see, if I'm doing something and I need someone to like be on a sinking ship with, I'm just like, Rohan, do I fucking get on this?
So is this why you got me on
I'm
the
doing
podcast?
a boxing match. You're coming with me. I'm doing a podcast. You're coming with me. So that's kind of, there's something there. Like, obviously, and
definitely.
We jump on the boxing match a second. Like I text you, saying we want to do this, and you actually won. To be fair, so fair play to you.
Well, it wasn't just an easy journey as that. Like, flip.
Man, I hated it. I hated it, man. I
like,
really
I'll
did.
Be honest, like, you came to me this was actually pre-COVID. So like,
yeah, it was.
I remember you asking me, and I was like, you were like, oh, do you want to do this white collar boxing match? And I was like, I have to get my hair cut this weekend. Sorry, I can't make it.
Dodging me.
My goldfish just died. Sorry, mate. I can't make it. And then eventually, just one night, I was literally like, do you know what? Like, F it. Like, let's just flip and do this shit. And honestly, best thing I have ever done. And I honestly would recommend anybody. It's not even just, and it's great to do it for a great cause like Cancer Research UK, but see, just the discipline, the training, like the mentality, like it's so good. Like, it's not even, like, to me, it wasn't even about like necessarily just, you know, getting the W, like just beating another person. For me personally, and I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable here, but deciding how much to share.
But things that you can win and you can put up a fight in your life. Really,
well, that's it. Like, to be honest, like the one of the main reasons why I really done the boxing and followed up with it, you know, post COVID, whenever it was postponed, was that like there was a couple of different areas of my life that really, I'll just be honest, like really knocked my mental health back and really knocked my confidence back. And the boxing was just that one thing that was, you know, I'm stepping in this ring. It's not to get a W against the other person. It's to get the W against me. To prove me that I'm not a failure, that I can actually do something, stick to it.
Man's preaching right now.
I wouldn't say preaching, but it's
that's good. That's good.
Being honest, man. You know.
No, we learned a lot, because I can remember I was the first fight of the night.
Yeah.
And man, I remember. So my guy was good. Fair play. Like, no, he was good. Fair play to him, and he's a great guy. To be fair, I'm still quite friendly with him now to this day. And I think you do get that. You have that respect for the person in the ring. You go head to head, like toe to toe. But mate, I remember I lost, and like all you boys were there, and like family, friends were there, girlfriend was there. And man, I remember sitting in that room after taking L. I was like, I don't know if I can go down and face these people. Like,
really?
To be fair, my girlfriend was the first person to text me and was like, "Well done, love you so much. You did so good."
You carried it so well, though, man.
Like, I did, and I took. I just. It was like a split second in time, I had to decide: am I going to let this L embarrass me, or am I just going to embrace it? I was like, fuck it. I'm taking this L, like, and I went down, held the L like mad. But I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the experience, and it was something that's like a bucket list for me.
That is the main thing.
It's probably drove me forward to do what I do now. Like this podcast, the TikToks, something I think I didn't believe I could do, and now I'm doing it. And that was the same with the boxing match. I never believed I could fight, because I'm not really a fighting kind of guy. I'm a nice guy, like I'm not your typical guy. I'm not going to threaten anybody, like. But I felt like, you know what, if I can put myself through a hardcore boxing training camp, go into a ring, fight in front of 1,000 people, there's something in that. Like, not everybody has balls to do that.
I was going to say it more politely, but nobody has got the, got the balls.
I was like, if I do this, I can prove to myself that I can do most things I put my mind to, even if you are losing. But no, I thought that was a cool story to bring up, because not many people know we did that.
No, well, that's it, man. And that is what it is. Like, it's proven that you really can. And I think and just literally echoing what you're saying is that, you know, you really prove to yourself. It's like, it's not even about like the L. It's not about the W. It's not about that. It's about proving to yourself that, like, shit, I would never do that. I would never put myself in them circumstances, and I'll never pull this off. I'll never do this. Yeah. And like, one thing for me, and this is one quote that's actually just, man, I just like well, there's loads of quotes that I live by, but one of them that I heard really on the approach to the boxing night. Just big shout out to the absolute badass David Goggins, but like, genuinely, there was like this TikTok that just come up, and it was like, he was in a seminar, this girl just asked him this question. It was like, you know, what do you do whenever you reach that point, whenever you're like spiritually broken, mentally broken, and physically broken? And we know that night, like, we were training with Bert Purdy, and like we were training, and man, like in the second round, and I was like, I was busted. I'm gonna be honest, I was gonna cry. I
did cry at one point in one of the training sessions.
Like absolutely done.
It was bad.
And so I was like, I get that mindset. I get the question you're asking, and she goes like, so whenever you're in that state, what do you say to yourself? This man that's broken Guinness Book of Records, like lots, like mad stuff. And he just goes, what if? I'm like, what? What if I can pull this off? Like, what if I can do this? What if I can be the boy in red standing in the corner getting the TKO in the second round? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
and you did it.
I just love that.
No, it was cool.
Love that.
And another thing, kind of another story that not many people know about all of us is that we all went to church. Church boys for a while.
Yeah.
We fell out of it because of a Benidorm stag. But that's kind of where, if we're talking about our faith for a second, like, I feel like that was a moment where we did kind of put the handbrake on that. What do you think of Benidorm and what came after?
I definitely think, like, if we're all being real, like, I think we were all so heavily involved in a church community, and we kind of were at a point where it was just like eat, sleep, breathe church, and we didn't know anything else. Like, to pretty much, like, since we were quite a young age, like early 12, like early teens, like, you know, we were all in that environment, didn't really know anything else, and then all of a sudden it was like we went on stag do, and it was like kind of, will we have a drink? You know, will we do this? We do that? And I'm not going to go into details, because what happens in stag stays in stag. But like, it definitely, like, you know, opened our eyes to, like, not that there's more out there, so to speak, but just like, kind of, like, for me, like, personally, it made me aware of, like, my individual happiness. I think, like, it made me aware of, like, you know, not just being in, like, and I want to say this with grace as well, like, but like, not just to be indoctrinated into some other person or man's vision, but actually be able to be an individual and have a vision and a purpose for your own life as well. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if I have a stance for that question, that's definitely like what.
Yeah, because I feel like obviously, like, growing up in church was a great experience for us, and it was like, it kind of was who we were, like, and that's obviously how we met and stuff. I feel like once you get out into the real world, even with life, and whenever, like, Monday morning hits and stuff, you do really need to, like, make sure that you have a good support around you. So I feel like walking through whether it's the church season or whether it's the fighting, whatever it may be, it's great that we have kind of us
that circle
just to kind of lean on. And for you, obviously, then kind of touching on the fighting, like Stefan says, getting the L motivate him to move into kind of what he's doing now.
Yeah.
For you, obviously, then getting the W, what has that brought on within your life? Like, what has that encouraged you to do?
Yeah. So pretty much with the boxing has actually made me really just again, as I say, have that mindset of, you know, like, well, if I can do this, what if I can do that? Being more positive, and also I'm realizing that, you know, there is things in my heart that I actually really, really want to do. Like, my heart is for people. Like, I want to help people. That's what I want to do. And, you know, you can turn around and, like, I think that's for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people's vision and heart is to help others. Like, you know, when you boil it down, you know, I have to be honest. I'm so grateful just the fact that I personally feel that I really do know, like, my calling, so to speak, or my purpose. And,
totally.
like, just to touch on that is, like, pretty much, like, whenever I was in the boxing, there was just so many things, like, whether you believe in God, the universe, flipping law of attraction, like, whatever it is, like, there was stuff for me that just, man, you couldn't write. Like, there's stuff just lined. See, after the boxing, man, there was stuff just lined up at success after success after success, blessing after blessing, man. And yeah, just get straight to the point. It was like, as life coaching, man. As, like, you know, and I'm not somebody that's, I don't want to be stuck to the desk every day. That's just not me.
Okay, cool.
And again, my heart is for people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know, as the podcasts go along, you know, I'll share more of my story and kind of what, you know, where I've been, what I've done. But for me, it's like, I feel like I personally feel that I have a lot to contribute.
Yeah.
Through, like, different life experience, and, you know, if I can apply that experience, that wisdom, dare I say,
Totally.
you know, for making stupid decisions through my own mistakes and my own fault hand there. But if I can pass that knowledge, and, like, if I can shorten someone else's awareness journey, or somebody else's, like, path to progression or success or whatever, by, like, if I can help them out even 10%, like, I'm not even like, that's not even about the money. It's like, money's great, but if I can just help somebody in that journey by 10%, man, I'm like,
totally,
I've done my job.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that, so you would definitely feel that moving into this is the best opportunity for you to kind of have a voice and actually share what's on your heart. That's good.
So, like, and that's another thing just with the podcast, like, it one that just builds up more confidence to kind of be in the public presence in front of a camera and a speaker, but yeah, definitely, like, it's just something going forward that my heart is like, oh, man, it's burns with desire for it. I just really want to help people, man.
That's good.
Like
you saying, kind of moving forward. So if you look at, we'll kind of say what we did with Stefan, like the next 6 months, what does that look like for you? On, like, kind of like a weekly, monthly basis, what does that look like? Yeah,
well, to be honest, I'm kind of one of these people that, like, life's teaching me at the minute that one day at a time, one step at a time.
That's good.
Patience, key. But I would say probably in the next 6 months, like, at the minute, like, from the boxing, I've really, like, developed just a love for the martial arts as well. So I'm currently doing a fundamentals course in MMA.
Excellent.
So I'm doing that at the minute. So I'm just loving the discipline of that and the training and the mindset. But I would love in the next 6 months to really start applying, you know, the knowledge, you know, show me your friends, show me your future, like, being around guys like yourself that, like Jamie, you're so good with, like, just, like, creative and content stuff, and you're, like, just great at being, like, on the TikTok platform and doing that, and just being around people like that. So I would say in the next 6 months, I would definitely, like, I want to have my own, I don't want to say platform, I don't like using that word, but I want to have my own space where I can but I can deliver value to people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, in my own way.
That's good.
That not necessarily just my, like, a niche, but just deliver value to people in a context of people that need it. That's so good. Doing that, and I've got a guy actually. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Tony Robbins. He's, like, one of the world's probably most well-known, like, sort of motivational speakers and life coaches. And I really was blessed by an individual with that course and the funding for it, and, like, you know who you are, and I'm so grateful for you and so grateful for what you've done. It's the next 6 months is definitely to get, like, pull a finger out essentially, get
Great,
on that
yeah, that'd be
and complete that course, and
Yeah.
then start putting it into action. So
Excellent. So it's good that you kind of have that crossover between still keeping that kind of like the fight in
Yeah.
you whenever it comes to like your martial arts, but then
Yeah.
you also have like, so you're investing both into like your physical health as well as your mental
Yeah.
health.
yeah, because I think both, like, you know, like your physical health's great, but I think that like your physical body is, yeah, it's good. Look, it's nice to have, like, you know, the defined shoulders, big biceps, and all that carry on, and, you know, flipping Greek god body and blah blah blah. But to me, like, some of the most inspirational people that I've met and look up to the most are the likes of David Goggins.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah.
but he talks about, see, when you're at that point, whenever you're at the point of breaking,
Yeah, totally.
you're literally at your 40%.
Yeah.
You have got
Yeah.
so much more to give.
Yeah, that's so good.
And like the guy that I'm doing the MMA fundamentals with carries a very similar mentality. And it's fair to say it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just I love that, like, pushing yourself beyond what you thought you were capable
Yeah,
of.
that's good. Like,
You know?
that's amazing. It's good to actually challenge yourself in those moments too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do a wee bit of quick fire then. Yeah. Awesome. So first question is like, I think I know the answer to this already, but favorite artist, like. Yeah, Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez, my
Okay,
guy.
nice.
Daystar Peterson, Tory Lanez, love him.
Awesome. Next one is obviously you drive a Merc, but what's your favorite car?
Favorite car? Easy, yeah. Nissan R34 GTR V-Spec 2.
Oh wow, okay, that was detailed.
It's literally the price of a mortgage of a flipping house.
Oh, wow.
It's like a 90s, like, Need for Speed. Oh, it's unreal.
Amazing.
Love it.
Awesome. So yeah, what's your favorite quote? I know there's probably like 100 out there, but
My favorite quote or one that sticks with me the most.
yeah, one that sticks with you the most.
I'm gonna be honest. One that this guy has come out with. That's why I'm as big as. So I'm all about bigging my friends up, you know, as well. But genuinely, like, one thing that Stefan said to me personally, whenever, as I say, throughout the podcast, I'll come back and I'll chat more about stuff in my story. But Stefan said to me, you know, your feelings will catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
I was somebody that was so led by emotions. Somebody that was like, you know, my body felt like this. I'm doing that.
Totally.
You know, I get up in the morning, I feel depressed, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah, for sure.
Your feelings will catch up.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's so good.
And every morning, even to this day,
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
It's so valid.
Yeah.
So valid.
that's so good.
So, back up, my man.
Yep, nice,
Genuinely.
nice, awesome. And then is a total random one. What's your favorite food? Whenever it comes to like going out and trying new foods, what's your favorite currently?
My favourite food in general have to be an Indian. I love
Indian?
spicy food.
Nice, nice.
Man,
Yeah.
chicken
It's
madras,
good,
like,
Yeah,
can't beat
it's
it.
nice.
Absolutely
Awesome.
love it. Absolutely love it.
And then last one, who is your dream guest?
Dream guest would probably be. I've had an hour to say one.
Tory.
Eh?
Tory, like, no.
That's what I'm saying. If I had to choose, there's two or three floating. Can I have two?
Yeah, go for two.
Yeah, I'll Tory Lanez one. And the other one would be David Goggins. That man's mentality. I just love him. Man's mentality's.
Yeah, that's
Savage,
right up the
I love
street
it.
for you want to do.
I love
like.
it.
Oh, that's class. No, I think that's us for episode 3.
Yeah, that's it. Wrap up.
Let us know what you think. If you want to get to know more of our own stories, what topics we want to cover.
Sure.
We'll pretty much cover anything. Like, loads of stuff are going on.
Let's talk about
We'll talk about whatever's happening every day in the world, local, Ballymena, or basically UK, worldwide, whatever.
Yeah.
Next week, for the next couple of weeks, we have a couple of guests coming up.
Some
Couple
really
of juicy guests,
we'll,
bro.
We'll not give it away.
I'm not saying nothing, but
some
do
really,
keep an eye. Like episode 4, 5, 6, and
there's
beyond.
Some serious.
There is some serious guests coming.
like.
So you definitely want to stay in tune for that.
For sure.
And let us know in the comments what you're thinking, what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
And there definitely going to be more lads podcasts where we're just going to chat shit and kind of more chilled. And then the guest one, we want to see what guests we can get on. And let us know what guests you want on as well, because we'll DM
absolutely.
anybody
Yeah.
and get them on. So
As this man
stay
says,
tuned for
slide
that.
in them DMs.
Yeah, so stay tuned and peace. Just want to say a massive thank you to the Barber Collective. These guys are going to be the full-time sponsors of the Nice to Meet You podcast. They very kindly let us use their space to record a podcast. They're located in the heart of Ballymena, just down from the bandstand. So do check them out if you live in the surrounding area and you need a fresh fade. Please come along, look at the stuff they do. Absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. It's something I've wanted to do for a really long time. So I just want to say thank you so much to the Barber Collective.